I start by talking a little bit about the first edition in 2016, and then I will bring you through the journey up to now. All right. In 2016, when the Monetary Authority of Singapore started it, it was a very small vision of convening different stakeholders together and to have a dialogue about about what fintech is all about. At that time, the aspiration was to bring in about 1,000 people, international stakeholders, but we ended up at more than 10,000 people, right? And that demonstrates the hype at that time, the capability and the potential of fintech as a technology. Over the years, we have progressed to different themes, and these themes are curated to support the industry, right? Over the past years, we have went through the COVID period. We have also seen funding winter shortly after the COVID period, and then after we were also hit by the crypto winter, right? So all this journey that we went through, SFF demonstrated our capability and ability to handhold the industry and to help them to ride through these difficult times. Particularly, I think I remember in the COVID period where nobody can travel, all right, we brought the content and the dialogue to everywhere our audience is. We ran this 5 days, 24 hours, just to make sure that the industry across the world are interconnected. Now, in crypto winter and the funding winter, both were causing a lot of disruptions to our startup, the backbone of the industry, and also the trust between regulators and the industry. So this needs to be rebuilt, this needs to be protected. And that's how SFF came in a curated way to string up all these dialogues and to facilitate that conversation. And again, to convene all different stakeholders to address all these challenges. Today, we have moved on to AI. It's a very different world of topics that we talk about in 2025. But if you look at the transformation of the fintech ecosystem, I think I'm proud to say that SFF have played a very pinnacle role in shaping how technologies is impacting the finance industry. I start by saying that in the past decade, the industry and SFF has helped to, we look at how cross-border payments, digital banking, and also digital asset will play its role in shaping what we call the first decade of digital transformation in the finance sector. I think if you look at fintech investment globally and particularly in ASEAN, it is plateauing out. Margins are getting smaller. Investment has also declined, right? So I think that is something that we need to be concerned about. At the back of our mind, while we embrace technology today, the conversation is surrounding AI, tokenization, and quantum. These three key areas will drive the near-term transformation of how we see technology will infuse into the industry. Coming back to the point, we are mindful that while the investments are declining, there will be new opportunities, particularly in the corridor of the global south and also the middle corridor, right? That's where I think we need to connect mature markets to emerging markets. And that's where we see potential high growth will be. And we want to create this dialogue opportunity for stakeholders and ecosystem players to be aware of and to fall back on GFTN in convening and connecting this relationship across the corridors, right? So coming back to the conversations today we have surrounding a lot of buzz about AI, but I see it from a different lens. I think it should move in the next decade or so. SFF and GFTN has to drive the conversation towards more application focus and to single out a use case and how this use case are being implemented in various economies and how regulators from other emerging economies should take alignment to this and use it as lessons and case studies. That will be my take of how SFF have to scope the next decade of technology. and how it becomes more implementable, risk-free in terms of executional failure, and also the trust that is required to be implemented. So it is the topics, but a special focus has to be on applications, implementation, execution, right? The other part I want to talk about is quantum. Everybody is very concerned about AI, stablecoin, etc., other digital asset. But my take of this is to look forward and understand the impact of quantum technology, because today, if quantum is able to disrupt and break through the encryption firewall framework, that's where the problem is. So we need to anticipate that. We need to have conversations about that, and we need to be prepared, because it will impact the digital public infrastructure, the cross-border integration between payment systems, and how data is going to be robustly protected. So that deserves a spotlight, and that is not spoken enough in today's context. That's an interesting question, and that has been on my mind for past couple of weeks, to say when I look forward to what's new to present to the audience in 2026. The key thing is for the past decade, we have been so focused on scaling the festival, right? And many people do not understand what festivalization means. To me, it is about convening and giving people the opportunity to network, and not just generic network, but to be very targeted in terms of the network towards the needs of our audience. I think moving forward, it's not about scale, it's not about size anymore. We don't need to be overly focusing on staying big all the time. I think it's about the shift from being a festival to a platform where we create impact, global impact, social impact. How fintech can be a component for sustainable finance for all. So that, I think, will be my take on what 2026 will be like. We will take some time to deliberate internally and what works for our audience. We will listen very carefully to our customers, our ecosystem players, understand what are their pain points and what are their problem statements in 2026. We need to infuse this into the festival in terms of how we create the content. But my take on this, we need to drop the focus on skill, but shift it towards impact.